everyone, it's Anya here. I'm back with another video for Ophelia Talks, and this is what we are making today. Yay! No more practicing, we are actually going to make something. Okay, so this is fairly simple. It's just straight crochet, but with different stitches, and so we're learning the chain stitch, the single crochet and the double crochet, and we're also learning a slip stitch. Oh, sorry, where are they? Here, on here. Okay, so I hope you'll join me for this tutorial, and I will be making it in real time. Hopefully that will work. What do you need? Well, first of all, a hook, and I have number 5. I have here some wool, and it's this one here. It's just straightforward from my local shop, Double Knit Special by Starcraft. It's the color is grey, and this yarn, or this wool, normally takes a 4mm hook, but I'm using a 5mm because I think that's a little bit easier for starters, for beginners. You also need scissors, you need your needle to weave in your ends, and you need a button. And this is a purple one. I don't know whether you can see on the mug. I have this sort of grayish type, and it has like this. I've got you know, it's just, I've got a box of buttons and I just choose one that I fancy. Okay, this is a purple one, and I thought it would go with the grey. And look, this is what we're making. So this comes undone, it's a hook, and then I put my my button on the other side, and everything is made in one go, apart obviously from putting the button on. So I can't take this off the mug because it's an ugly mug. I don't like it because of the printing on it, but this way at least it's hidden and it's nice and warm, so that's why I'm making it. Okay, so let's get started. So we put our wool over, twist it round twice. I have done all this in a previous video, so do go and have a look at that if you want more explanation about that. And we insert our hook, just holding on to the ends there. You pick up your yarn, and we are going to chain 30. Now, I am notorious for not counting, so see, look at that, I can't even get started now. Okay, and off we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I might have to 9, 10. So that's 10. Don't do it too tightly. Do it nice and loose like this, because we're going to have to go into it, into the stitches later on. 1. Oh. Now the problem is I am quite good at crochet, but what I'm not good at is, that's 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. What I'm not good at is watching myself do crochet in my monitor, because that's how I'm filming this, you see. I'm watching in the monitor, so I have to have it in the monitor for you to see, obviously, but I have to have it in the monitor for me to see as well. So that's 20. I will count them off camera in a moment, just to be sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's like watching a YouTube tutorial. Oh dear. Okay, let me just explain something now. Okay, so each stitch is a V basically, so we're going to be counting the V's, and very often here my first one just disappears, so I don't count it, and I don't, you know, I don't take it into account at all. So the first one I can put my needle in is going to be this one here, and that's going to be my number 1. So, and I count like this, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And sometimes you just have to 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Just do like that so you can see your V's. 2, 4, 6, 8, see 9. So I've lost that one on the beginning, but that's fine. You won't notice that later on. It just goes so small. Right, there we go. So now we have 30 stitches. That's the base of my of my cozy. Okay, now we have to create the height. So we're going to do another stitch. So that's for our height. Okay, so you start with holding it like this, and then we're going to insert our hook in here. So this one was created for the height, so that's just going to sit on the side of our work. Okay, and this one is going to be that 30th stitch. That's where we're going to make our first single crochet, and this is a single crochet. So single crochet, you go into one of the loops from your chain, you get the wool, pull it through. Now you have 2 loops. You then get wool and you pull through, and that is a single crochet. Looks a bit funny now, but it'll straighten itself out in a moment. So we are going to find that loop here to go into. She says you pull up a loop here, 2 loops, and we yarn over and we pull through. See? Don't worry about these holes here, that will sort itself out in a moment. So again, in, pull up, and pull through to in the next stitch, pull up, pull through 2. And now it gets easier because you can hold on to your work on both sides a bit. She says, at least, you know, I can hold on to it here, I can hold on to it here, so that makes it easier. So pull up, go in, pull up, like I said in the beginning, it's always fiddly, but it gets better. It gets so big sometimes that you know, you're sort of weighed down by the weight of your lap gown or blanket or whatever you're making. So sometimes you think, oh, this is far too big, but then you forget that in the beginning actually you were holding on to a piece of string basically. Isn't it wonderful the things you can do with a bit of string? So I'm continuing my strip here, and basically I'm keeping you busy because we are doing 30 single crochets. And as you go along, you'll find it gets easier. You find some sort of rhythm, and you'll find your wool gets used up, so you have to unroll a bit more of your ball. Oh yeah, did I tell you what wool we're using? I think so. Okay, so let's keep going. Make sure you don't forget a stitch. Don't skip a stitch, because that's not what we're doing today. So this is the first row of single crochets, and we're inserting the hook into the chain that we've just made, and I'm doing this 30 times. Okay, nearly there. And I tend to sort of count when I'm nearly at the end. I always have to do sort of one more or something like that. Okay, so let me count with you and show you how I count. So if you look at it closely, this one here is that chain that we did. Okay, so that does not count. That just stays there. Then we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. So we have to do one more. And that's in that very last one here. It's still not the... There we go. Yeah. And we pull through. See? So that's our 30 single crochets. It gets easier from now on. So then you do a chain 1, just like before when we chained. Then you turn your work, and this time, always make sure you're holding your yarn here, your wool here. This time we're going to insert our hook under both the posts of the stitch. Okay, so we're going to insert them in here. First one, we're going to skip that one because we've done our chain and that's our first one here. So we're going to skip that one, pull through and pull through. So that's our first stitch. Again, under both legs of that, under both posts, I don't know what people call them, posts, legs, whatever, both of those, see, pull through and pull through. So under both, and you'll find this is the back of our work, and you'll find the V is sort of leaning towards the front, so you have to hold it sort of at an angle towards you to see both the posts. But there you go, so there I have them. You pull through, yarn over and pull through, so through both the posts. Can you see that? What I'm picking up here. Now there are other ways of picking things up, other ways of going through. You can go through just the front loop, you can go through the back loop, you can even go through the back loop here. Obviously that's a little bit more complicated. We're just starting with the basics of crochet here, and it makes sense to just do this and pick up both loops and do a single crochet. So I'll meet you at the end of the row. Okay, so I'm at the end of my row and I have counted my stitches and there's 30 stitches. So now this time we are going to yarn over and chain 1, and we're going to chain 1 again. So we're going to chain 2, then we're going to turn our work and we are going to do double crochet. So just now we did single crochet and now we're going to do double crochet. So you yarn over onto your hook, then you're going to find that second stitch again, because first of all we skipped that first stitch, and you're going to go into it. So we're picking up both of the posts there. Okay, then you pick up and you pull through. Now you have 3 loops. Then you yarn over to get some wool, and then you're going to pull through 2. You've got 2 loops again, yarn over again, and you're going to pull through 2. So this is a higher stitch. It's higher in height than this one here. Okay, so yarn over, pull through, push through, pull through, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, underneath both the posts, pull up, pull through 2, pull through 2, and we keep doing that. If I've gone too fast, just rewind and watch it again, but I'll do it again. So yarn over, pull through 2, no, yarn over, pick up both posts, pull through 2 and pull through 2, yarn over, push through, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, yarn over, into the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Oh. There we go, see? And you can clearly see that there's more height to this stitch than before. So we are now making more progress really, because we're doing a higher addition, a stitch that makes a higher addition. So see you at the end of the row. Okay, so I've come to the last stitch and I have 30. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And I had to do one in the very last bit, so you have to make sure you do as well. And that's going to keep everything straight on the corners. So then, same thing as before, 1, 2 chains, turn your work, and we're going to yarn over and do double crochet in every one here, in every stitch at the top. So we are putting our hook underneath both posts of the stitch, pulling through. Now it's important you don't, I mean, it doesn't matter here at all, but obviously if you're working too tight, then things are going to get awkward for pushing through and pulling. So I know I have quite a loose tension, so I have to be careful not to be too loose, but it's okay, it's okay. I can arrange it with my fingers here that I don't have all the wool you know, sort of loosely, it's just slightly tensioned here. And you will see that you're making a nice little pattern here. See? So you could go into here instead of there, and again, that's a possibility, but some patterns might state that. But I quite like the fact that we've got an extra little hole there. It doesn't matter what you do really, but just do it uniformly. So if you do it once, keep doing it. If you go in, you know, make sure you've all gone in, because otherwise it looks funny. So make sure you, you know, choose for, you know, uniformity basically. Now, we've got something to hold on to for them. Oh yeah, look. My yarn is splitting a bit, can you see that? So be careful, make sure all the parts of the thread are pulled over. So when you notice that, just slow down or go back or help it along with your nails or something. I also keep a good eye on whether I'm not skipping any stitches, whether I'm doing the right amount of stitches. So I'm making sure, not just, you know, not how should I say that, not once a night if you're doing crochet all night, but like every other row I'm looking to see, did it go right, is it good, okay, so that I'm not undoing. If I can't live with it, I don't have to undo too much, okay. So I tend to check my work as I go, so that there's not. But then on the other hand, having said that, there is a couple of stitches missing in my daughter's poncho, but then I think, well, you know, I've made it by hand, it's unique. She's not going to know where it is. I can't even see it now. But do you know what I mean? Sometimes, you know, one little stitch doesn't really matter in a whole thing like that. But obviously, if it's a pattern or anything, you'll have to make sure you count your stitches at the end of the row each time, and you know, that it all looks nice and uniform. So I'm nearly there. And yes, I like this mug Cosy. I've got another one of those mugs that doesn't look very nice, so I'll put this round and see what my husband says. Oh dear. Oh, now, see, this is where it's difficult. This is where you could easily forget to do a stitch, but you've got to do one because this is in that chain from our turn. And if you don't do one, then you'll have 29 stitches. So this way, just pull over the 2 loops as well as you can. This way we're going to have, look, a nice straight line, well, before it was going wonky. Okay, so what have we done here? We have done a chain. In that chain we did single crochet. We came back with single crochet. Now we've done double crochet and double crochet, so this time, this row, we are going to do single crochet again. Single crochet is not as high as double crochet, so we only need 1 chain, and we are going to turn our work. Okay, so this basically is the front of our work. Now we are going to do the same thing as before, not yarning over. Yes, it becomes a little habit to yarn over, so you'll see me do that whenever I don't need to yarn over, basically. Just shout at the screen saying, "Don't yarn over!" I need more wool. Yes. But sometimes it's nice to follow a pattern, and sometimes it's nice to be able to just do something mindless where you don't have to think about it and just get on with it. And so when you're doing that, and that's when it's dangerous, when you start yarning over and you're not supposed to. Okay, so into that stitch, into that stitch. And you sort of, you get into a little habit of doing things in a certain way, of the movement that you have to make with your hand, especially with this one as well. If you look, see, that's the sort of kind of movement I'm making. I don't know, I seem to be a little bit two left hands at the moment because I'm looking in my monitor. I will get used to that, but can you see how my hand sort of, and that's a kind of easy habit that you need to develop to make sure that you're gonna, how should I say this, to make sure that you know, you can do these stitches with the least effort, basically, so you can do as many stitches as you can. So here we go, here we go, here we go, nearly there. And then we are going to do another row of single crochet. So tell me, what kind of chain do I have to do at the end of this row? 1 or 2 chains? Yes, correct. 1 chain. Okay, so that's my 30th stitch, and I'll just count quickly. Now let me count from here. 10, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay, 1 chain, turn your work, and oh, see, don't yarn over, because we're going to do 2 rows of single crochet. I'll meet you at the end. So we're at the end, and I am going to chain 2. We've done our 2 rows of single crochet, and now we're going to do another 2 of double crochet. So let's turn our work and pick up and continue with double crochet. So that means yarning over into there and pull through 2, pull through 2. Okay, and again I'm at the end of my row, and this is that awkward bit again. So yarn over, find your 2 loops here, and pull over and pull through 2, pull through 2, see, and then we have a straight edge. That makes a lot of difference. And here as well we have also got a straight edge. Okay, so 2 chains, and once again we do a row of double crochet. So we're doing 2 rows of single, 2 rows of double, 2 rows of single, 2 rows of double, and then to finish we'll do 2 rows of single. So I will see you at the end of this row. Okay, so we have now got to this stage here, and we are going to do another 2 rows of single crochet. So I'm going to chain 1, 30 single crochets, chain 1, 30 single crochets, and I'll see you at the end of that. Okay, so I'm at the end of my 2 rows of single crochet, and this here is the front of our work. There is a difference, you can see the difference, so this sort of looks more, yeah, the stitches lie on top of it more. And so now we are going to take our work like this, and we're going to slip stitch to the middle here. So we're not going to cut it off or anything, we're just going to slip stitch. And slip stitch is the following. So you put your hook through 2 loops, and at this point doesn't matter which ones you choose, just choose any, and you pull through. Did you see that? So I've got 2 loops here, just a little bit further along. That's 1 loop and 2 loops here, and you pull up a loop and then you just chain basically. See, and that lies flat onto your work. Same thing again. Don't go and choose something here, but try to do it sort of, you know, at the size of a stitch. It's not so easy to find stitches on the side, but I'm just doing it so we don't have to cut anything off, and we are practicing our slip stitch. Okay, so that's what we are doing here. I think I've come to the middle. Let me do one more here. Okay. Still need to do my slip stitch. Oh. Okay. So that's where we're at now. So now we're going to chain 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then you're going to insert into that same stitch where we did that last stitch, and I've got, yeah, and we do another of those slip stitches, and this has now created a little loop. And just for fun we could tie off here, but just for fun let's do some more slip stitches towards the end, and you'll see the little holes. After a while you'll know where to stick your hook, basically. Where to stick your hook, that's a good one, isn't it? Right, and we are getting to the end here. I'm just inserting it there, there. And so this is what we've done now. We've sort of stitched all along there, and we've made a little loop for the button. And now we're going to tie it off. So you pull through like that, remove your hook, you cut it off, and you pull through and you tighten. Okay, and now we have to weave in the ends. So let's put our needle, and I just go along here like that. If it's obvious that it's on the front or at the back, just make sure you don't have it visible on the front. Okay, so that was pulling a little bit too hard because it was coming in, so I'm making sure that it's straight again. And then what I generally do is I go back, and I've just realized this is the front, so let's just make sure that I'm doing more at the back than at the front, really, so that nobody can see what I'm doing. What I would normally do is change direction, but because we've got these little holes here, I'm not too keen on doing that because I don't want it showing up. I mean, it's only a little cozy, but even so. So I change directions a couple of times. It all depends on, see, how long my piece of wool is that I have left over. And generally what I do is I just cut it off like this. There we go. And that's done. Now the other one, I cut this off a little bit longer. Same thing again. Go along, this is the back. Go along the back here. Try to go into the stitch, into the wool of the stitch. And I would typically go like this, see, into there, all the way down. There are a lot of other people who do this differently. I've read somewhere that they actually split their yarn and go on like that. I don't like doing this little job, so I do it as simply and as easily as I can. There. Voila. Okay. And you're not going to notice that. Okay, then the next thing we have to do is put the button on. So put it like that. Where is my button? And you sort of, so that you know about whereabouts it's going to have to go. And we're going to need a bit of wool. It's important that you choose a button with holes that are big enough, because I chose a nice button, but I couldn't use it because I couldn't get my needle through. Of course you can use, what am I doing here? Talking. You can use a different wool, to attach your button, but that you're going to see that. So that's where my button is going to go, and I've just put a knot in the back of my thread here, and obviously that might not stay, so I'm just doing this lightly, going through again. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to push my needle through this button like this, through this knot, see, and then that is going to attach it really well. And we pull through, push through, we've got to do the other 2 holes there. So it looks nice on this side, and I'm just going to do a little loop again through that button, but not I said it again and again. So here I've only done, yeah, that's okay, that's fine, I've only done sort of 2, you know, passings in the button, but that's okay. So now we are going to fasten this off. If you have your wool in your needle, that would help, wouldn't it? So like this, and another time just go through it. Why? And then I'll knot it. Put a knot in there. If I had kept this a bit longer, I could sew that in as well. I mean, you can by inserting your needle first and then sewing it. So there we go. So that's the end of that one. And then let's do this one as well. Insert the needle. And put your wool through the eye and pull it. There we go. And that's that. So that's all finished now. I have another one of those ugly mugs. There we go. So my husband's going to be so tickled when he sees that I've got these 2 dressed up mugs in the cupboard. Okay, there we go. See? There's one pretty mug now. Oh dear. Yeah, so here we go. So that's our mug cozy number 1 and our mug cozy number 2. Oh, and I've put them on different directions. Look, I'll have to redo them. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you for watching, and look out for more beginner tutorials. Bye!